I'm Dr. Roos, and I just thought I'd give you this video. I'm going to kind of talk about the class. I think I'm going to make another video for the lab. All right, they're both online for me this semester. I'm doing the class online, and then Emily Browning is going to be doing the lab. So this is the web page for the class. I'll have this video will be right here under Start Here. That's why you're watching it, I assume, unless I might be emailing the link to you prior to the semester starting. I don't know, I did that last time. And so I want to just kind of quickly go of what to expect. Each week there'll be a week 1 announcement, a week 2 announcement. There'll be other announcements as well. But there'll be weekly announcements that will contain a list of things that I expect you to complete for that week. Okay? So for instance, complete the syllabus quiz. It's not actually a quiz. It's in the quiz section, but I need to have an assignment that you complete to verify your attendance, and completion of this quiz will. You won't get any points for it. It's just an assignment to verify your attendance. So you'll have to complete this syllabus by January 25th, right, to verify your attendance. So I'll have an announcement about that as well. But complete this, watch the welcome video, which is what you're doing, right? Now, every week I'll say we're going to cover chapter 19. That's the textbook I'm using. I've got listed, it's not a required textbook, all the PowerPoints for all this, PowerPoints for each chapter we're covering in that textbook, so you don't have to buy it. But anyway, I've made videos where I've covered this chapter in the class. So you're going to be, basically, it won't be any different. This class won't be any different than taking it face to face, except you'll be watching the videos instead of coming into class, right? Which is a kind of nice way of doing it. If you had me for Bio 1, I organized this class very similar to that. Anyway, so that's what you would do for week 1. Then there'll be one for week 2. Say complete. Maybe it might tell you to complete the quiz or 2 quizzes, and watch this video covering the next chapter's PowerPoint. Now, if you go to the content section, everything I'm talking about you'll find listed here, right? All the PowerPoints for all the chapters I'm covering, the lecture videos that cover those PowerPoints. That there's these lecture short videos. I've just kept them there. These were my first go around at making videos, so they're on the short side, and these videos are much better. So I'm always going to be linking these, but you could watch these if you'd like to as well. There's a flyer assignment that's due, and there's instructions and a video about that. There's a vocabulary list for the exams. And then in the PowerPoints, you might see there's a video in the content section. If you want to go and watch it, then you could, these are actually videos on this website. But that's the content section. Now, I think there's one assignment. I might add an assignment to this. There's the flyer assignment, and then there's this bonus. So there's a Fungi video. I may end up making another assignment for bonus points. We'll see how that goes, right? But if you complete that assignment, then you'll earn the bonus points for watching it. There'll be an announcement about that. Your flyer instructions and where you turn in your flyer assignment is in this folder. Right, it's due April 30th. There's no discussions. And then this is a list of, right, the first one is not graded, right? This syllabus is just an assignment. I've got January 27th here. I'll have to check. Well, this is actually 22. I haven't updated the dates. This is copied from last year's. So anyway, this will be January 25th for the syllabus. right? If it's only necessary to do it so I can verify your attendance. But you'll have quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, quiz 4 to do before exam 1. All of them are due February 13th, right, which is a Sunday. They'll always be on Sundays. They open at different times, 20th to 27th here. Last year, that's when I opened them up and when they were due. So this due date will change when I update the dates, right? This is for 2022, not 2023. But, and then the other thing to mention is that in parentheses, quiz 2 covers chapter 27. Quiz 1 covers chapter 19, right? That's what the parentheses are for. So, and then so in the quiz section you have, all the quizzes. I can give you a final instead of, if you miss an exam, right, in the syllabus I state, then you might take a final instead to make up that exam. So it just depends. Don't miss more than one if you miss any. And exam 5 is a pretty short, right? It only covers chapters 35 and 52, right? That's one quiz before exam 5 that needs to be done. So that's how it works. Now when you take the quizzes, you'll have 2 attempts. So let me go over the syllabus that covers some of that. Okay, so I'm in DeLand. I'm in building 6A, room 205. I'm right next to the micro lab, if you know where that is. That's my phone number. You can reach me during my office hours. That's always use my email address to correspond with me, so we, don't use the notifications or the messaging in D2L. Please just use that email. You don't need this textbook, but that's the chapters I'm using and the figures and all come from this textbook if you're curious. It's the only reason why it's listed. If you're taking it, you have to be taking the McGraw-Hill Connect for their lab, right? And in the lab video, I'll talk about there are virtual labs. You need to complete the virtual lab, and then you'll earn like 4 or 5 points for completing maybe 2 or 3 labs there, right? You won't be taking any quizzes on Connect. All your quizzes for the lab will be in the lab in that shell for lab, just like I showed you all the quizzes that I had for class just a minute ago. So I think I updated these dates, they're correct. April 4th is the last day to withdraw. Now the other thing to keep in mind about that date, I have to verify your attendance at the beginning of the semester by taking that syllabus quiz. It's 3 questions, they're all true. But anyway, then before the withdrawal date, April 4th, 2 weeks prior to that date, well, it's basically the period after spring break. If you stop participating in this online course, you don't complete an assignment or a quiz or something that I asked you to do, you haven't logged on or anything like that, right? You didn't complete exam, I think exam 2 is due before spring break, for instance. So you didn't complete that, and then you didn't log in or you didn't complete anything after that. You didn't contact me. They're going to ask me, have you attended class sometime after April 4th? Are you still attending class? And I have to say no if you haven't been completing any assignments. So just keep that in mind. After spring break, if you take another week or 2 or 3 weeks after spring break, right, you might get dropped from classes. It's not just my class, it's all the classes here. I'll verify your attendance before, I'll change this date. It needs to be the 25th. There's videos. I do have a YouTube channel. I might have emailed that to you. If you haven't looked at your email before watching this video, you should go now and check, right? I'll be sending everybody in the class, say like the syllabus, a course overview, my YouTube video link, or maybe this video itself, the links to see so you can watch. but I went over the lecture videos I've made. Online quizzes, you have 2 attempts, 10 minutes for each quiz. Right, there's 10 questions, 1 point apiece. Exams have 50 questions, but they're worth 2 points apiece, right? Those points are added to your total points you earn for class and lab, which is 1,000 points total. Okay. I would take all the quizzes twice. You know, when you take an exam, you may get a quiz question on the exam. So, you know, make sure you know the correct answer to all the quizzes that you take. You can talk to me about them if you're not sure what the correct answer is. Comprehensive arrangements are not taken. There's no reason you have to make any arrangements about taking, that's really for in person. You have, you know, over a week to take any exam, right? So if there's something that comes up that keeps you from taking it, you should work around that. Don't wait till the last minute. Right, they'll always be due on Sunday at 11:59. If you miss it, you get a 0. I can use the final as a makeup. Or I may say, well, you'll have 30 minutes to take it instead of 55 minutes. I've been doing that as well. So, comprehensive final, I might expect you to take that, especially if you've missed more than one. Right, more than one. Technically, the second one is a 0. That's the policy. So anything we arrange, you know, anyway, so the flyer assignment is worth 30 points. And the instructions for the flyer listed in the content section. If it's late, I give you a 10-point deduction for that. There might be assignments, I covered that already. And then we have, right, for online, you can earn 170 points, right? 1 point per question for that. Flyer assignment worth 30. 5 exams. Now, exam 5, I don't think that's 50 questions. I think that's a little bit shorter. But the first 4 exams are all 50 questions, and each question is worth 2 points. Exam 5 is worth a total of 100 points, like the others. It's just you may have less questions because it doesn't cover as much material. I've changed that exam a few times, so I might even add a little bit something to it. I don't know at this point. So when you're done with the lab, right, then I'm going to add your lab points to the points you have for class, and that determines your total points for lab and lecture. Miss Browning will not submit a lab grade. Whatever grade I give records, it'll be 1 grade. That's the grade you'll be getting for your lecture, 3 points or 3 credits, and the 1 credit you earn for lab. It's always the same, right? Right? There's not, it's not like you can fail lab and pass the class. Okay? It's always going to be that if you fail the lab and you're always going to, they both are connected. I can only submit 1 grade. At least that's the way it works at Daytona State. So if you have 900 points between lab and lecture points, you got an A. If you have 800 points, you get a B. So if you've had me before, you've gone through that, you know how I do that. If you've had Karen Braley, then she has a very complicated way of determining your grade. So I'll just leave it at that. These are my office hours I've got so far. And these are actually the old office hours, so these will change. But I'll have them listed, and once I know them for sure, I'll put them there on the syllabus. And I think I've made these dates. I think I've changed these dates, right? Yeah, because I had the spring break here. So, right, exam 2 is due the 12th. So if you missed exam 2, for instance, and maybe quizzes that were due on the 12th, and you haven't completed anything since then when they ask me if you've been, around April 4th, if you've been attending class, right? But if you've completed exam 2, I'd probably count that as you've attended, you've met the attendance requirement. But this is the schedule for this semester if you want to ever look here. All the exam dates are Sundays, quizzes and exams. And I'll be wrapping up the semester. I'll expect everything to be done by May 7th. I think the semester officially ends on the 12th of May. But, you know, this is a Sunday, but, you know, I want to get everything like this. Right now, this is the fall semester. It's the Tuesday before the end of the fall semester, right? It was December 13th. And I've got everybody's completed everything for this semester. There's a few people that haven't. They're probably going to fail. But if I had a student right now that contacted me and hadn't completed something, I'd let them make it up, as long as they haven't missed too much prior to this. So it's a time where, you know, you can kind of make sure everybody has everything. If they're interested in completing everything, that they have an opportunity to do that before I submit the grades. But right now, if I went to any of my classes right now, I would have in the grade book, there's total points. So if we go back to here under grades, right, this is the list of the grades, right? Each quiz, total points, the exams, right? 5 exams, 500 points. We won't be doing the health form, don't worry about that. Then there's going to be an item in the grade book for total lab points, right? So I put it, if they have a lab, if I'm teaching a class with a lab, then I've put their lab points. And then I've totaled up how many points. Now the 20 here, it says 1,020 because of the bonus points for the extra credit. It's actually a total of 1,000. But right now they can see what their total points are in the class. And then next to their total points, I have a letter grade. So they know right now, if they look there, they'll know what they've earned in the class. So I don't want there to be any surprises that way. Okay, but that's how the grade book will look, right? This total point for lecture and lab, I have to actually manually enter that in. The computer doesn't do it, but it adds up the points for me. Okay, so this is the video, the welcome video for class, and watch the one for the lab too. I'll have another one to explain the lab, and hope you have a good semester.